Hello, my dear doctors. Welcome back. Now we are going to start with another topic, that is auditory pathway. Let us see the entire auditory pathway. Let's trace the entire auditory pathway right from the beginning to the end in a very crystal clear manner with the help of this schematic diagram over here, guys. Now, first thing, I think I don't have to tell you about this diagram. If you people are following all my lectures in neuroanatomy, you are well versed with this diagram. This is the diagram of your entire brain with the cerebral hemisphere, diencephalon, the midbrain, pons and medulla oblongata, followed by spinal cord. We all know about this diagram. I don't have to tell you that again and again. Now, the important thing that you have to remember here is that auditory pathway is actually a 4-order neuron system. And I'll tell you about that at the end. When we are going to conclude the topic, I'll try to make you learn about the 4-order neurons in an easier manner. Now, first of all, let's trace the pathway right now. To begin with, where are these fibers are going to begin? The auditory pathway fibers, they're going to begin from your inner ear. So external ear, the middle ear and the inner ear. So try to just follow the sequence right now. In the inner ear, you'll be actually having that cochlea. Inside the cochlea, you'll be having organ of Corti. I'm 110% sure that you all have learned about that in your first year MBBS itself. Organ of Corti. And in organ of Corti, you have got like many types of cells over there. And in that, what is required right now for the auditory pathway is hair cells. Inner hair cells and the outer hair cells, guys. So we are going to begin from there. So in the auditory pathway, first, remember, inside the organ of Corti, you'll be actually having the inner hair cells. Organ of Corti. So you have got the inner hair cells and the outer hair cells. From here begins the fibers of auditory pathway. Now, is there any MCQ which is possible here? Yes, there was a question asked in the exam from here. Fine, sir, all the fibers of this pathway are going to begin from inner hair cells and outer hair cells, but more number of fibers are going to begin from where? Remember, that is from the inner hair cells. 95% of the fibers are going to begin from the inner hair cell, whereas hardly 5% of the fibers are going to begin from outer hair cells. First MCQ solved here. Now, after beginning from here, what is going to happen? These fibers are going to go into a ganglion. And that ganglion is nothing but the spiral ganglion. Even the spiral ganglion is also located where only? It is also in the wall of cochlea only. And from here, these fibers are going to enter into the brain, yes, and end in a nucleus over there. Let me always draw the nucleus with the green color over here, guys. That will be the cochlear nucleus. That is cochlear nucleus. And my dear students, I hope you are easily able to learn the location of the cochlear nucleus from my diagram. Where it is exactly located? Yes, we can clearly see it's located at the pontomedullary junction. Exactly at the pontomedullary junction, guys. I don't even have to tell you, you don't even have to write down there. We can see crystal clearly in our diagram there, guys. And yes, one more important thing I'd like to recall from neuroanatomy. When I taught you about the brain stem, midbrain, pons and medulla oblongata, between the pons and medulla, that is pontomedullary junction, between pons and medulla, the cranial nerves which are going to exit out from there will be your cranial nerve number 6, 7 and 8. I hope you all remember that one. So pontomedullary junction, the next thing that should come in your mind is 6, 7 and 8. And here we are learning about auditory pathway. Which cranial nerve? 8th one, vestibulocochlear nerve. So therefore those fibers are entering from where only? Pontomedullary junction. That is what I want to recall in your mind here. So no need to mug up every time, guys. Try to recall it conceptually. And one more important thing I would like to clarify here itself. Spiral ganglion, the fibers present in this one or the neurons present in this one will be bipolar neurons. Bipolar neurons. See, mostly we have a habit of learning. Whenever a ganglion comes, we have a habit of learning that in the ganglion, the fibers will be pseudo-unipolar. But here it is not pseudo-unipolar, it is bipolar neuron. So on one end, you will be actually having the axon, the other end will be having the dendrite. That will be having the bipolar neuron. That is also important there. Now, once the fibers will enter into the cochlea, those fibers will stop there. And from them, another fibers are going to begin from there. There is a relay, there is a junction there. And these fibers are going to cross onto the another side. And there, they are going to end again in another nucleus there. Now, what is the name of this nucleus? Of course, it is olivary nucleus. And that too, it is superior olivary nucleus. Do I have to even tell you about the location now? No way. You can clearly see in our diagram there, guys. Superior olivary nucleus is located in pons. Superior olivary nucleus present in the pons there. Then where do you have the inferior olivary nucleus? Of course, it is in the medulla oblongata, forming that olive, that elevation olive that in the medulla oblongata. Now, one important thing I would like to tell you here, these fibers which are crossing on the other side, there will be similarly the fibers on the other side which are also crossing. So they're like crossing in the middle. And because of that crossing in the middle, it appears like trapezoid. That is the reason why it is also referred to as trapezoid body. So it is nothing much difficult over there, guys. They are the fibers which are crossing from one end to the other side and from another end to the other side, and that is appearing like a trapezoid. That is the reason why it is referred to as trapezoid body. Now after crossing, what is going to happen? Now the fibers are going to ascend up. And try to recall from neuroanatomy, I told you after crossing, always they're actually going to form. What only here? They're going to form a lemniscus. And this time, my dear friends, what is this lemniscus over here? This one will be actually your lateral lemniscus. This will be the lateral lemniscus. So you come across the lateral lemniscus in auditory pathway. And one more thing, our rule, our principle there, lemniscus, it will be always formed after crossing only. That is the reason why if there is an injury to the lemniscus, always the effect will be on the contralateral side. So keep that principle in your mind. Lemniscus, I repeat again, it is always formed after crossing only. So therefore, if there is any injury to that one, the effect will be always seen on the contralateral side. Perfect. Now there is something to recall for you people. Right now, we are done with the medulla, we are done with the pons. Above that, right now we are in the midbrain. Recall from neuroanatomy, when I taught you about the midbrain, ventral aspect of the midbrain and dorsal aspect of the midbrain. Dorsal aspect of the midbrain will have corpora quadriga minor. Corpora quadriga minor. There are like 4 bodies, 2 superior colliculi and there will be 2 inferior colliculi. Now out of that superior and inferior colliculi, remember, they are not in the ventral aspect, they are actually present behind. Out of those 2, which colliculi will play a role here in the auditory pathway? Remember, it is inferior colliculus. So I'm just drawing it a little bit in the dotted line. Just imagine it is actually present behind the midbrain. So there are certain fibers which are also contributed to the inferior colliculi. So this one here will be the inferior colliculus. Perfect. So there are certain fibers which are given to the inferior colliculi here, but remember that is present behind the midbrain. Now from here, what will happen? From here, the fibers are actually going to go and end in a geniculate body. Now again, the same thing. See, this topic is all about like recalling, sir. There are so many things which are actually correlating here. That is the reason why I want you to recall. First thing, there are 2 geniculate bodies. One is the lateral geniculate body, another one is the medial geniculate body. Fine. They are together forming the components of metathalamus. So you yourself decide right now. The moment I am telling you that is metathalamus, it should be located where? In the diencephalon. Right from the very beginning of neuroanatomy, I taught you all the thalami together are actually present in diencephalon only. Okay, sir. One thing is confirmed. Location will be in diencephalon. Geniculate body. Second thing, sir, these 2 geniculate bodies are playing a role in which pathways? Easy to remember. M for music, M for medial geniculate body, auditory pathway. M for music and M for medial geniculate body. It is taking a part in auditory pathway. L for light, and L for light and L for lateral geniculate body, and that is playing a role in your optic pathway or the visual pathway. Is it okay? It's so simple to remember. M for music, medial geniculate body. L for light, lateral geniculate body. Got an idea clear? Now, let's include here. So, therefore, the fibers will now go and end where? They are going to end in the medial geniculate body. These fibers will go and end in the medial geniculate body. Now, after this medial geniculate body, what is going to happen? Another fibers are going to begin from here. And those fibers from these medial geniculate body are actually going to auditory area. These fibers will go to the auditory area. And of course, these are actually known as what? Radiations, auditory radiations. So these are all your auditory radiations over here. And these auditory radiations, my dear doctors, remember, where are they going to go? They are going to go to the cortex, cerebral cortex. And look at the way how I have drawn the diagram over there. All those auditory radiations are going to which area? Of course, the auditory area. So they are going to the primary auditory area. That is area number 41 and 42. Auditory area, area number 41 and 42. And I hope you all remember that special name to that gyrus that is also referred to as your Hessel's gyrus. It was asked in your exam. That is your entire pathway. That is your auditory pathway. Made easy, guys. So let us just revise it once more over here. First of all, the fibers are going to begin from where? From the hair cells. What do you have to remember there? Most of the fibers, 95% of the fibers are coming from inner hair cells. And from there through the spiral ganglion, the fibers will go and end in the cochlear nucleus located at pontomedullary junction. Then from the cochlear nucleus, the fibers are crossing, forming like a trapezoid body and ending in the superior olivary nucleus located in pons. From the superior olivary nucleus, then begins the lemniscus. Lateral lemniscus, of course, contributing some of the fibers to inferior colliculus, which is located behind the midbrain. And from there, it will go and end in the medial geniculate body. And from the medial geniculate body, auditory radiations will go and end in the Hessel's gyrus. Nothing but auditory area, area number 41, 42, guys. Perfect. It's so simple, the entire auditory pathway. Now, welcome to the most important thing. Yes, I said you one thing in the very beginning. It's a 4-order neuron system. Sir, how come this one is like a 4-order neuron system? Let me clarify here. Now, in this diagram, remember, the spiral ganglion, which is having those bipolar neurons, that is the first order neuron. First order neuron all the way up to the cochlear nucleus. From there, another fibers are going to begin, and the trapezoid body and everything will be like second order neuron. That is forming the second order neuron. And then this lateral lemniscus is the one which is actually going to form the third order neuron. And finally, the auditory radiations, they are the one which are going to form the fourth order neuron, guys. So that's easy to decide with all those junctions in the middle, guys. All those relay stations in the middle. So spiral ganglion along with bipolar neurons, they are going to contribute the first order neuron, trapezoid body, second order neuron, lateral lemniscus, that is the one which is going to form the third order neuron, and auditory radiations are the one which is going to form the fourth order neuron. So that completes your entire auditory pathway. After completing the auditory pathway, I want to clarify like one more MCQ here itself. What is forming the center of stapedial reflex? Whenever you study about any reflex, there will be afferent component, there will be a center, then there will be efferent component. So what is forming the center for the stapedial reflex? So whenever you hear something very loud, a louder sound, we already have a defense mechanism inside of our body. There is a reflex known as stapedial reflex. So whenever you are hearing any louder sound, the stapedial reflex is operated in such a way that, let me just take another color over here. All that impulses will actually reach all the way up to what, guys? All the way up to the superior olivary nucleus. And from there, you also have certain fibers. From the superior olivary nucleus, you also have certain fibers which are actually contributing to the nucleus of facial nerve. Now the diagram will become like more complicated if I draw the facial nerve nucleus in the pons itself. Okay, so that is why I'm just drawing it outside. So try to bear with me. So the fibers are given to the facial nerve nucleus. And we all know very well, facial nerve is the one which will be giving a branch, that is nerve to stapedius muscle. So the seventh nerve is the one, the facial nerve is the one which will be supplying to the stapedius muscle. See, I'm not drawing exactly like that. My intention is not about the entire diagram of facial nerve and everything. So don't focus there a lot. Focus that on superior olivary nucleus. Why? Because superior olivary nucleus is the one which is the center for your stapedial reflex, guys. So there'll be afferent, there'll be a center, and then there'll be efferent. So we are not concerned with afferent and efferent right now, about the center. So what is forming the center for stapedial reflex? Center for stapedial reflex will be the superior olivary nucleus, guys. Hope you'll be able to solve like many questions from this entire auditory pathway. And then not only that, we are even done with one more thing, that is the center for stapedial reflex. Now coming to the end of this topic, recently in the exam they have asked, arrange all the structures of auditory pathway from periphery towards the center. So nowadays they're even asking the questions like arrangement of the structures. So arrange all the structures of auditory pathway from periphery towards the center. So how to remember that one? There is one simple mnemonic here, guys, which is followed by almost every student. Remember, like E. coli, ma. As I told you, I don't believe in all these mnemonics and all. Learn conceptually. That's the reason why first I made you learn everything conceptually over here. After learning conceptually, if you are a mnemonic lover, then follow this one here. So E. coli, ma. In that E. coli, ma, first of all, E stands for your ear, internal ear. That is your hair cells and all. And then C stands for the next one, cochlear nucleus. Okay. And then O stands for olivary nucleus, next one in line. Of course, superior olivary nucleus. L stands for lateral lemniscus. And after that, I stands for colliculus. Which colliculus? Inferior colliculus. I for inferior colliculus, the next in line. And then from there, the fibers are going to medial geniculate body, and then auditory radiations, and finally the auditory area. Okay, so it is in the same order of E. coli, ma. That will help you in solving the questions very quickly in the exam. That will save your time. Instead of recalling the entire concept and all, E. coli, ma, that is how it is arranged from periphery towards the center. And yes, that was asked recently in the exam. Is it okay? So that's your entire auditory pathway made very clear, guys. Crystal clear concept. Thank you for understanding.